episode 30.
Yes.
30.
Big 3-0.
This is wild.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we've done 30 episodes.
No, it really doesn't. But it also feels like we've been doing this for 12 years. So, like...
Yeah, like, it's wild that we
weird.
started this at the beginning of the year, and it's already
Yeah.
August. It doesn't feel like it's already August.
This YouTube channel got started on December 19th. And then we had a couple of, like, promo bits for it. And then our first episode was, like, the first week of January this year. Back before, when I was living in a different room of this house. I didn't have a PC.
Oh my god, yes, you're on your phone.
We were recording audio only through my phone. The shorts were being done through my phone, which has killed the battery life of my phone that it has not recovered from.
Oh, has it not? Oof.
No, it's so short.
iPhone though, isn't it?
Yeah. Then we upgraded to me using the camera on my phone to record, and then still editing shorts, and then I got my PC.
I forgot we didn't do video off the rip.
Yeah, no, it was like, I think it's like 6 episodes about video.
Yeah, that's gone from my memory.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Yeah. But look, I see now 30 episodes in. I mean, we're well over halfway to that goal of 50 episodes.
We are.
It's been good. But as we have done for not all 30 episodes, but for most of them. How's your week been, Hori?
Consumed by rust. If you listened to last week's episode, you will have known that I'd played Rust that Thursday, and I played that wipe till pretty much yesterday, which was actually quite... Usually a Rust wipe, I'll just put it out there, Rust wipes usually last like 4 days, and you'll get everything done that you want to get done. So this was a bit of a long one, but I mean, it was fun. Me and my mate, we just duoed. It was a fun time, although it did take over my life. And just like slotting in work in between. Other than that, not much has been going on. Obviously, what's going on? KCP wise, new Splitgate roster.
I saw that.
Yeah, well, so we're partnered in Splitgate. So obviously not going anywhere in Splitgate. But our first season, I think it was this classed as the first season. Yeah, our team didn't do great, I'll be honest. And yeah, I mean, just it's like any esport. Teams have to be switched up. It's all about results at the end of the day.
Esports is outrageous. If you're a traditional sports fan and you're only used to like the Premier League, it just honestly your mind would melt. Somehow there's less teams and less players, but more movement. And I think part of that is because very few esports have like a hard roster lock.
Yeah, there is no like roster locks. It's also
theoretically at any moment you can just go AO dog.
Yeah, and it's like I think also the big thing with esports that kind of is different to traditional sport is it's like most of the time it's max 5 people. You like a lot of it is on like team cohesion and chemistry, which I think you can kind of get around a bit in traditional sports with bigger teams. If like 2 people don't get on, it's fine. But like in this,
like
it's like
NFL roster with 56 people, not everyone has to get on with everyone because guess what? There's 56 here. If you don't like that person that much, just don't sit with them.
Exactly. But it's like when there's just 5 of you, and if 2 of you don't get on with the other 3, like it makes shit hard.
Yeah.
So that's one reason teams swap a lot. And then obviously results. Everyone in esports wants to win. So
yeah, it's constant. We have to win now, otherwise we're never going to win. That's like the mentality.
But KCB is kind of in a bit of a off season. We've exited Halo.
Nothing really happening.
Rocket League's started its off season, and it's Rostermania.
Mate, the timeline for Rostermanias at the minute is wild.
And then Splitgate's in an off season. And that's all we're in at the moment. But yeah, other than that, work's been kind of chill, just been consumed by Rust. But I'm having a week off Rust.
Yeah, you need to take a week off Rust.
Yeah, I need to get my life kind of back in
Yeah.
structure and order. And
I've not had a message from you between the hours of like
for like a month.
10 a.m. and 4 p.m. for like 3 weeks now.
Oh, it's been
I
like
feel
a
like a
good
booty
month.
call. That's how I feel.
You're
You
my
only message me when it's late.
You're my side chick. Rust's
Yeah.
my main chick.
You just hit me with them "Ayo, you up?" texts.
It's like I booted up Valorant last night for like the first time in like 2 weeks. Do you want to know what I did when I booted up Valorant for the first time in 2 weeks?
You just checked your store.
I bought the knife.
You bought the cranbit.
Bought the knife, went in the shooting range.
Man hasn't played the game in 2 weeks, goes in there, spends money, and then puts it down again. Fucking brilliant.
Literally went in the shooting range, was like, shots a bit. Played one death match, and I was like, shots not feeling good at this time of night. Let's hop off.
Tell you what, Chamber has been playing nicely for me.
Oh, even post nerf.
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking back and I'm going, why did I think changing to KO was a good idea?
I also like that this podcast has now just become. We haven't mentioned a thing.
We're so fucking established with what the goal of the podcast is. Anyone who's listening to this will be like, okay, they're just doing their bit at the beginning.
Yeah,
They talk
if you're
about
watching on YouTube, just skip ahead if you don't want to listen to us.
This is just proof that we are actually friends and not just two people trying to convince you that our opinions matter about stuff.
Yeah, we are friends, not associates.
Do you know what though? This bit here at the beginning gets longer and more random when you disappear to play Rust for 2 weeks. We don't have gaming in the week for us to catch up on standard shit.
This is true. Connor, why don't you just come play Rust?
Nope, I can't afford to degen like you do.
Anyway, how's your week been?
My week's been good.
Nice.
Crazy busy week at work with just a million things going on at all times. Which, I mean, it happens occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
My tattoo is now healed to the point where I can
slap it,
slap the shit out of it and make people uncomfortable because it still looks really fresh.
Nice.
Which is always fun. But it's got like the weird itch to it. And like if you've got a tattoo before, anyone listening, you know, like after the stage where you just want to scratch it constantly and it's just a subtle itch, which is what will accidentally catch you off guard and make you itch it because it's so much more subtle. It's at that stage. But yeah, now I just want someone to cancel so that I can move my second appointment up to get it finished.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah, but it's been a pretty standard week. Had my nephews down this week, so it's been nice to have them about the house.
Just a standard week for you, huh?
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah, just a standard week.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing weird happened for you.
I didn't like double my career YouTube views yesterday and then redouble them again today. That definitely didn't happen.
Just a normal week for you then.
In the space of 2 days, my personal YouTube channel has not gone from like 25,000 views to 200,000. That didn't happen.
Man sat here saying it was a normal week after he just got 100. Was it not 100k on a video?
Yeah, we're currently at like 106.
Just a normal week for Connor out here apparently.
It was a 10-second clip.
Man sold out.
It's been watched for 380 odd hours. It's 10 seconds long. Hey YouTube, send over that contract, buddy. Eh?
Yeah, YouTube, can you hurry up and let shorts kind of lead towards monetization?
Ayo, I'd be fucking so
well,
much closer.
Real talk, that's obviously what's going to happen eventually, but they just need to hurry up and like get on with it.
But you've also got the big thing of because mine is just basically shorts and streams.
Mm-hmm.
My shorts, yeah, they will help me get subscribers, which covers one half of YouTube monetization, but they do nothing for the 4,000 hours of watch time that you need.
Nope.
But hopefully that can create. If I end up streaming for like probably 12 hours a week, it's probably roughly about what I'm streaming. If I have 10 people sitting there watching basically all of that every week, that kind of they're going to balance themselves out. But yeah, if they could add YouTube Shorts watch time, even if it's like they go, okay, 50% of watch time counts.
It's because they need to figure out how ads will work on Shorts.
Yeah, that's the real issue. They're trying to work out the monetization side of it. But anyway, So yeah, that's been my week.
Yeah.
So obviously we got She-Hulk, which normally for you guys would have come out 2 days ago, and for us would have come out yesterday. But instead it's come out today, so for you guys has come out yesterday.
Yeah,
Which
a lot more
means
fresh.
yeah, this content's a lot fresher for you guys and for us. But it also means I can sit there, not that it would have happened anyway, and gone, I would do a character profile on that person. So I had to have a think about who we haven't done a character profile on yet that was worthy of one. And then it dawned on me. There was a very obvious answer. The winner of the Superhero Showdown bracket.
Spoilers. If you haven't listened to last week's episode.
If you're not caught up, what kind of psycho listens to episode 30 before episode 29?
Oh, I mean...
So, I thought, if you're sitting there going, the guy's green, why is he the winner? I'm about to lay down some facts that are probably going to make you understand why he is the winner.
Yeah, because let's be honest, we touch on his powers, but we never really explain. We just presume people know who Martian Manhunter is.
We kind of forgot that our entire thing is we're here for novices, and assumed everyone would know who the Martian Manhunter is. But even if you kind of knew who he was, but didn't realize how powerful he was, this should help.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Martian Manhunter, aka John Johns. He first appeared in the Justice League of America number 255 all the way back in October 1986. He's just a touch older than Mr. Horizontal.
Okay, I knew that was coming. Why did I know that was coming?
Pretty hard. Just get used to it. So the Martian Manhunter, in a surprise to I hope no one, was born on Mars.
No.
However, he was an extremely rare birth because he was also born with a twin brother, which is even rarer in Martians than it is in humans.
Oh, okay.
But here's where it gets really interesting. His brother didn't have the standard telepathic abilities that basically all Martians have, which is how they communicate. So as a result of this, he kind of became an outcast due to, what would essentially be classed as a disability, I guess.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, Martians are ableist.
Oh, God.
That's the only way that can be interpreted.
I feel like most alien races are not.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so he became an outcast, and as a result of this, he became a bit of an extremist who grew to hate Martian culture. And this is where we can stop feeling sorry for him.
Oh.
Because his response to this was to plot a genocide.
Classic response, yeah.
Of course. So what he did was he used their advanced science to create a virus that transported between Martians when they used their telepathic abilities.
How the heck does that work?
It's Martian voodoo science. I wouldn't worry about it too much. These are comic book characters, Hori.
Yeah,
crazy shit happens. We're talking about Martians and how one Martian was sad because he couldn't read people's minds.
You don't know what Elon Musk will find when he makes it to Mars.
Hopefully a personality. Anyway, and the result of the virus would cause Martians to burst into flames, burning from the inside out.
Okay.
So John, with his almighty resolve, managed to not use his telepathic abilities and suppress his desire. And imagine someone just walking up to you and going, "Don't use your right arm, otherwise you're going to die." It's like your first response is going to be to probably tense it up and be like, "What does that even mean? How do you not use it?"
Yeah.
And that's what it was like for Martians, which is why it was so effective. But he did manage to suppress his desire or natural urges to use it. But as a result of that, he got to survive to watch his mother and father and wife and daughter to succumb to the virus and die.
And develop a hatred and a fear of fire.
Yes. So it turns out Martians are all a little bit susceptible to fire, but his turned into a pathological fear because of
Mm-hmm.
the
The
genocide.
virus. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, how do I describe a genocide without using the word genocide? Anyway, this then brings us to Earth, where a human scientist who'd found ancient Martian equipment launched a transmitter beam that went through time and space and grabbed John from the past, because this all happened centuries ago.
Oh.
And this brought John to Earth and to our time.
Didn't know that.
When John then arrived on Earth, he realised that Mars had been dead for a long time.
Okay.
So he kind of decided, well, I may as well just stay here. I don't really have an easy way of getting home, but I may as well stay here.
Mm-hmm.
So he did. He adopted an Earth persona using his shapeshifting abilities and called himself John Jones.
So creative.
Yeah. John would live as a police officer. And then on the side, he would use his powers in secret to try and solve cases. Until one day, Martian Manhunter kind of got discovered and outed as a superhero working in the shadows. And he then helped form the Justice League of America as one of the founding members.
Nice.
Now, this is where we get into the absolute unit that is the Martian Manhunter. And I think the more terrifying bit about this we need to remember is none of these are special to him. This is just what Martians can do.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so he can shapeshift.
Mm-hmm.
He can go invisible.
Nice.
He can phase through stuff.
Nice.
He is super durable.
Mm-hmm.
He has immunity to any toxin or poison from Earth.
Handy.
He has super strength and, to go along with it, super stamina.
Mm-hmm.
He also has phenomenal regenerative abilities, as well as being able to fly, alongside super speed. So he's got you covered ground or air.
He's got you covered everything.
He has extrasensory input. So as humans, we have 5 senses.
Mm-hmm.
Sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. Is that right? I think it's 5.
Yeah, it is 5.
Martians have 9.
Huh? Well, one of them's telepathy.
I don't know what them other 4 come under, but yeah. They also live extraordinarily long. They've got crazy longevity. Their lives are very, very long.
Mm-hmm.
He has super hearing, of course. What OP superhero doesn't.
Yep.
He has a very powerful breath, similar to Superman. His lungs are so powerful they can create very cold, pressurized air.
Right, got you.
Super sight. So, my understanding of this, based on what it said, was no one's 100% sure how it actually works.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a little bit like he can like zoom in.
Okay.
As well as maybe a touch of X-ray vision.
Okay.
But also maybe able to see like a electrical waves. So you
Right.
got the electromagnetic spectrum.
Oh yeah.
And like you using that spectrum, you can see lots of things, and like we have machines that can identify them.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes can do that.
Right. Okay.
He's also able to utilize heat vision.
Yeah.
As we know, he has telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
He also has telekinesis.
Mm-hmm.
And he can absorb matter into his own body to make himself larger.
Right.
So they're his powers.
doesn't have?
Then we move on to his abilities.
Oh God. On
So he has
stats.
a genius level intellect.
Okay.
He is an expert in hand-to-hand combat,
Of
as well as
course.
being very proficient with a trident.
Interesting choice of weapon.
He is a detective to rival that of Batman himself,
Oh,
and he's also a very skilled diplomat.
interesting.
Basically, do not fuck with Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, I feel like it's a. What power should we give him? Yes.
Yeah,
Situation.
that was exactly the creative process.
What powers would we give him Martians? Yes.
And then on top of that, they made him super friendly and super trustworthy and reliable.
Yep. Because they were like, well, we can't make him a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's so stacked.
So, for anyone who was wondering, that's
Yeah.
why Martian Manhunter was able to slap up Abomination without too many worries.
That's why he was able to slap up everyone without any worry. Yeah. I mean,
He's a big, strong, thick boy.
I forget who picked him. If it was me or you.
I feel like that's not someone you would have come up with. No offense.
Yeah, but I knew of him. But I don't think I put him in. I can't remember. So long ago now. But whoever did, it's kind of GG from the get-go, let's be honest.
Yeah, in hindsight.
Yeah, in hindsight.
I thought for a minute there, because I wasn't thinking too much about it, that it might be all right. And then we got to like
halfway
the
through
quarterfinals, and I was like, oh shit, I see where this is going.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. So that is the character profile on our champion.
Yes.
I'll probably do the same at the end of the next bracket for our next champion.
Like episode 150 or whatever it's going to be.
It's a long time away.
Yeah.
I mean, if we get too desperate, I might just pick like one of the people from.
Yeah, I mean, we could do the people that get eliminated.
Yeah. Anyway,
talk about how trash they were and why they got eliminated.
So I'm going to change the order because I don't know why I did it in this order.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about what's on there next. We're going to go down one because it just makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
She-Hulk episode 1.
Boom.
Came out today.
What everyone's here for.
It was so good. And do you want to know how I know people are very excited about it as well?
Go on.
We did a segment about our final thoughts like we do for every new project last week. Today, since like midday, that segment has got 60 plus views. It's now up to 156 views. And our watch time, like average watch time, has gone up over that as well.
Yeah, people were ready and waiting for the show.
Yeah. So I'm glad people seem to be enjoying it. I've loved it.
Oh, I loved it as well. So good. So well done.
The comedy was spot on. People were worried about the comedy because they view Marvel comedy as being very like fart joke kind of comedy.
It's like over the top comedy.
But I think this episode was very funny, in a very real way. But I'm going to start off with a giant fucking I told you so.
Okay.
When we were discussing the trailer, we got a 4th wall break. And I said that will be her first 4th wall break. Now, I know what you're going to say. Earlier in the episode, she broke the 4th wall. But chronologically, that was the first time she broke the 4th wall, which is why she looked confused. It wasn't because of Bruce, like you said it was going to be Mr. Zontal. It was because of the 4th wall break.
I'm still not...
She didn't even know Bruce was looking at her.
So here, I watched it again. Obviously, in the episode, I saw it again. I'm not 100. I'm still not 100% convinced because the way it is,
it might not fit into my other theory about everyone being confused and looking down the camera, but that was definitely her being confused about breaking the 4th wall.
maybe, but it's like
It
the
might
way
not fit into the other looking down the camera thing. I'm fine with
I
that, but that was her first fourth wall break, and she was confused by it.
I still feel like they were just because what happens with most fourth wall breaks in shows, characters in Marvel, whatever, it's always like if someone does it, other characters are like, who you talking to, sort of thing. And I still feel like
No one
she
else has broken the fourth wall.
no, but I mean in general when shows do this, when shows like not necessarily just Marvel, I'm on about in general filmmaking. When there's fourth wall breaks in TV shows or whatnot, there's times when people are like, who you talking to, sort of thing.
No, I
And
get that.
so I still read it as she does the fourth wall break and kind of turns back to Bruce, and then Bruce turns to her like, the fuck are you talking to? And like in a
If we're
she
not
looks
careful, this is going
away.
to cause an argument of me fucking recording myself going through it frame by frame to prove to you that she doesn't know Bruce is looking at her.
But she sees Bruce turn to look at her after she's done it, and I think
She
she's
looks
looking
back
away
in
to
confusion.
avoid. I think she looks away from Bruce because she sees him starting to look at her to
My
avoid.
interpretation
That's fine.
is different, and you are wrong, and I would die on this hill.
I'm sticking by mine of
I'm still taking my big fucking I told you so for saying that'd be the first time she breaks the fourth wall.
chronologically, yeah, sure.
Fuck yeah. Now, on to the more important stuff. As always, the vibe.
The vibe. The vibe was great.
It was so good, wasn't it?
It was funny, but there was still like some pretty, I guess, sort like more serious moments of like Bruce trying to explain the situation. But I loved
Yeah.
just they filled in like we learned a lot of new things about Bruce as well as who She-Hulk is and how she gets her powers and whatnot. Overall, I think it was a really good opening episode to kind of set what's going on, where Bruce has been, like how this all just fits in, and setting like, okay, this is how it happened. This is what's happened. Okay, now we jump back to present day and get on with She-Hulk being She-Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. We have the reference of the Sakarans,
Yes.
which is obviously where Hulk was in Ragnarok.
Yes.
And I believe it's where Scar, who's another Hulk, comes from.
So that was the thing I couldn't remember the name of. So in that little last week's final thoughts,
Yeah.
we talked about the ship and we didn't know where it was from.
So Scar is Hulk's son.
Yeah.
And he was conceived in the comics on the planet of Scar and left there.
Mm-hmm.
So bearing in mind how one of the big themes is, especially in this first episode, Bruce going, we need to be careful. We know how dangerous just two of us is, but fortunately we're on the right side. Could you imagine if there was another one who we couldn't control?
Mm-hmm. Everyone probably
and I
thinking
think,
Abomination when they talk about
that. Which is going to be interesting.
Well, yeah, yeah, because Bruce mentions that it was a Sicarian ship and he'll worry about finding out what that was about. So yeah, I've seen things which people like, he was on, like in Ragnarok, he was on there, Sakaran for like 2 years?
Yeah.
Was it? So who knows what he got up to when he was just Hulk and not in control of it.
Plenty of time for some of that Hulk seed to be stolen.
Yep. So that would be an interesting kind of progression for a Hulk film.
Yeah. So obviously there's problems with doing a Hulk solo film. Just like Spider-Man, Universal own the rights to Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't appear in a solo film without their say-so. Which is why we've not had like solo Hulk projects.
Mm-hmm.
people, and there are rumors floating about that actually them rights are going to revert back early next year,
Right.
which would then allow Marvel to make
Do
their
it.
solo Hulk project, which could be what, because like Bruce said, I'm going to have to go and check up on that later.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're going to get, and they're just setting that up. Now here's the thing. Now I sent you this message, and I'm going to read this message out verbatim. We're going to have many angry sexists this week, by the way. Now, I'm sure now you know what scene that was in reference to.
Yep.
Okay, so first and foremost, if you're going to comment on one of the shorts or anything going, it's just like bullshit, your comment's going to get deleted. No one else is going to see it. You have nothing of value to offer to the world with that opinion. So you will be just deleted from the comments. Whether you like it or not, this is mine and Hori's little bit of the internet that we have power over.
Yep.
We're not going to let you spread shit. So unless you're going to go, I like how it was handled because it was handled fucking brilliantly. Don't care. And don't
Real
get me
world,
wrong, you
real
can
world
say I
issues
didn't
is
like
not
it.
woke.
Yeah. And you can say I didn't like the way they did it. I think they could have done it slightly better. That's fine. Just don't call them wanting to do it bullshit. There's difference between good conversation and being a dick. But what I will say is I thought it was handled brilliantly, and it actually made me quite happy. Because in the comics, it's never really explained why Jen can just kind of handle her powers.
Right.
Whereas this show's instantly gone, hey yo, it makes fucking sense that a woman can hold her rage and like control herself a bit better. Let's just fucking use that. So they did. It makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah, like at no point when that scene was going on, like kind of explaining it, was I like, oh, this is a workaround and kind of trying to fit. Like, no, it's just I'm listening to it, I'm like, well, yeah, like everyone
That makes
knows
sense.
that women have to put up with some dumb shit like every day. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, of course it makes sense that she can control her emotions better.
Exactly. I also like the way they decided to have her get infected. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Again, in the comics, I get why Bruce would do it, but Bruce is also supposed to be super intelligent. He should know there was a risk to it.
Yeah, and the Bruce we have in MCU is also very careful about, like, he has shown many times that he doesn't like letting the Hulk out, and he didn't like he was trying to. Well, when we first introduced to him in the MC, like not his film, but when he gets brought in for Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
and he's isolated himself. Like he doesn't want anyone to get affected or infected.
Well, let's also remember the post-credit scene of The Incredible Hulk, which is an MCU film, is Stanley drinking a bottle that has his blood in it and dying, or collapsing.
Yes.
At least I think it is, unless it was one before that.
I can't remember.
Matter.
So long ago now.
So like we know his blood's dangerous.
Yeah.
So the notion that he'd be like, yeah, put my blood in my cousin, it wouldn't have made any sense.
No, it wouldn't. And the way that they showcased, or did the way that they did like that change, and also I really liked how they finally have explained how he was back in human form.
All made so much sense, so eloquently done, and what it took like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
not
and
even.
People have actually. I've read a thing. It's like someone went back and checked the end of Shang-Chi, and you can see the thing on his other wrist with the green light on. So it's
There
like
you go, then.
they already like obviously had it explained to the like whether before they wrote this show, they probably had that reasoning explained as to how he was back in human form,
which is
so
brilliant.
Yeah.
By 3 minutes into the show, we already had a fun introduction with Jen doing her like kind of iconic fourth wall break. I was like, this is a lawyer show, but I better explain how we got here, which was brilliant. We had Bruce explaining why he's in human form.
Yeah.
And then we had her getting her powers.
Yeah.
Boom. Phenomenal. We got the scene that had already been put on Twitter of her explaining that Captain America has to be a virgin.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant because this debate has been going on in the internet for years. They're like, MCU Steve has not had a chance to clap cheeks. This has been a debate that's been going on as long as I've been on the internet. So it's really funny to see Marvel kind of go, we see you fuckers.
Yeah, like why? It's perfect opportunity. It's like I feel like it's the perfect show as well. Or first chance, they've kind of got to kind of implement that in as like a writing point, I guess.
And if they're going to make that kind of joke, I'm telling you right now, at some point in this show, we are going to see a dude with either a sign or a t-shirt that says, pick me up, Hulk mummy.
Oh
I
god,
guarantee you. Or some kind of mummy joke, seeing as that's really popular on the internet. I
that wouldn't
promise you it'll
surprise
be in
me.
there somewhere. I loved them. I loved the home in Mexico. I love the explanation
Yes,
that Tony helped him build it. And I love
yes,
that we get to see Tony's death affecting other people, but not in like really blatant, obvious breakdown crying ways. It's been a couple of years. Bruce is just like
yeah. It was very
he's an
subtle.
introverted guy. He's not going to break down when his cousin's in crisis about his friend who died.
No, and also they did it in like I feel like a very real way of, and showed more so of like Bruce and Tony's relationship and how they were like close
Thanks,
friends.
Bruce.
Yeah. I look. Yeah. So I think I mentioned it back when the first trailer came out of like maybe this is the same Mexican bar as like Venom thing. Obviously isn't. Um, I like the idea that he had. We now get to find out what the Gamma Lab was. It's just a beach hut with a lab under it. Classic Tony move to build a state of the art lab underground and then above ground.
Well,
It
you
looks
got,
like nothing.
but we know this was built during the blip. So what Tony's done is he's built his house on the lake where him, Pepper, and Morgan are living,
Yeah.
and gone, hey yo, this is lovely. I'm gonna make Bruce one, which is the most Tony thing in the world.
Well, and also Bruce was like going through it, right? So
Yeah.
he knew
Um.
Bruce needed to be away and somewhere calm. I loved the on the bar. It had B.B and T.S scratched
Yeah.
in because they built it together. Oh
Do
well,
you know
Tony drank and Bruce built it.
there was also a really cool little detail that I'm sure lots of people noticed when they were down in the lab. When Jen was in Gen form, you can see that the counter is really high on her.
Oh yeah, everything's built for Hulk size.
Yeah, it's built for him to be in Professor Hulk
Yeah, everything's built
format.
to withstand Hulk size.
Yeah. So her walking around in normal Gen form looking tiny is brilliant.
Also,
It adds
really,
to that.
yeah, it also helps with the film because if they built the set Hulk size, it really helps sell the scale of Hulk when they add in CGI Hulk.
Exactly.
All
And
smart
also
filmmaking.
the Jeep,
Yeah,
which was clearly built for him to be in Hulk form.
Hulk
Just
Jeep.
little things like that.
There was some. Obviously, we saw. I instantly was like, "Oh, Iron Man helmet," and then realized, wait, that's an Age of Ultron helmet because it had like the jagged teeth. So that was obviously one of
I
the. Is it Iron Legion? What they called?
Yeah.
I forget what they called them.
I'm growingly increasingly convinced that we're gonna get a Tony Stark AI.
Possibly. I
With
think
Ironheart coming in and that being a part of her character's past, and Bruce having an Iron Man helmet knocking about.
I. Well, so
I'm not sure if I like it or not.
here's my thought as to why that like it wasn't just a Bruce putting an Iron Man helmet. I think they both had that there when they built the place. Because if you remember, they were both kind of made the decision sort of together to do the Ultron thing.
Yeah.
It was like their project gone wrong. So it's kind of like a look what we did and the mistake we made together and we've learned from. Sort of
That's
like
also that's a very fair point actually.
because
Maybe he keeps that there as a reminder to think.
yeah, like to what sort of things they can create if they make the wrong decision, sort of thing. I thought it was interesting that was there, and obviously was something that was put there when they built the place together. Trying to think what else. I saw one thing which someone was like, probably the Iron Maiden top that Bruce gives her to put on.
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin, was it Led Zeppelin? I can't remember now. But that
Yeah.
was probably Tony's t-shirt.
Yeah. I enjoyed the kind of brother-sister dynamic during the training sequence.
Yeah, it was like that like older cousin, younger cousin, older brother, younger sister sort of thing. Yeah, that was funny.
Very, very good.
There was lots of funny moments in that, like the whole boulder throwing, where he throws it lightly and then she throws it further, and then he's like, "Well, fine then." Full Hulk throws it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm shown."
Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of humor that I want. It's very organic humor that's very relatable.
Yeah.
We've all tried to show someone how to do something, them do it a little bit better than us explaining it, and then we're like, well, now I show you that I'm already better than you, so you can simmer down and keep listening.
Yeah, just because you're a quick learner doesn't mean you're not the best here. Also, love how you pushed her off the cliff.
Yeah, like when I taught people to throw, because I like when I was playing cricket, I had a exceptionally good throwing distance for my age. Mm-hmm. So I'd be like there, and I'd be like, okay, so you step through like this, and obviously it wouldn't go very far because I'm showing the technique. So when they're all doing it, they're throwing it really far, and they're all getting excited. So you pick one up and you fucking launch it as far as you can to prove a point.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm still out throwing you. Let's keep going. It's that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I thought that he pushes her off the cliff and she flips him off, and then she just hops back up.
Yeah.
Things like that.
The scrap when she tried to leave was really good.
Yeah, so yeah, the whole thing of Bruce having like not quite realizing that she had full control of it all already. I loved the kind of internal struggle he suddenly had when he realized that she didn't have someone like alter ego that was like, he has the Hulk.
Yeah. He started projecting his own fears onto her.
Well, yeah, which at the same time though, like all he knows is his own experience of being the Hulk, and presumes that's what happens when you get those powers.
Mm-hmm.
And someone having it completely different, you could see was really throwing him, because he only knows how to teach her what he's been through, but he knows he needs to teach her stuff so she's like safe about what she's become.
You've also got to be aware that he's probably feeling a little bit jealous as well. I mean, you kind of get a little joke about that, but he will be feeling jealous. He's like, I struggled with 15 years not being able to have proper friends or anyone I cared about because I had this uncontrollable monster inside of me that potentially caused me to lose some friends as well.
Well, yeah, like completely.
Maybe they win the Battle of Wakanda and stuff like that, and you're already in control, mastered it after like a couple of weeks. What's going on?
Well, yeah, it's like that whole, I've battled and fought and taken me years to get to this point, and then you're like instantly at this point. It's kind of like, well, that's not fair, that's cheating. But yeah, the scrap was cool. I enjoyed how you could see I feel like they really sold that Bruce was, Smart Hulk, as he's known now in canon. Smart Hulk was like holding his punches at first, and the more she was going like off on him, he was like getting more and more annoyed, so he just started like getting closer and closer to Hulk mode, like just full, right, I've had enough of this. I like that it kind of, them smashing into the bar was like that sudden like, oh shit, what the fuck are we doing sort of moment.
Sorry.
Which when they smashed through the bar, I was like, no, the bar that Tony helped build.
You could see it coming. You're just like,
yeah, I was like, oh no, the pain. But I'm like, obviously they rebuilt it and stuff. But yeah, I did enjoy. I think they did a really good way. Essentially, did her entire like origin. They were like,
in one 30-minute shot.
They knew that no one wanted a full season of building up her origin and her getting used to her powers and stuff. Like, we can do this in one episode. We know what we're doing. It'll satisfy everyone. And I think that's exactly what it needed and was the right way for them to do it. I also want to say the CGI. Anyone that comes out and says, "Oh, the CGI looks bad," I'm like, "What are you drinking?" Because to me,
there was one or two very short bits where it was a little bit janky, but watch any TV show that's trying to output that level of CGI and tell me they're on a couple of off or moments rather
exactly,
than
and it's like
scenes.
even if like no moment or anything took me out of it and go, "Oh, this is
No, not at all.
CGI." Like at no point did I question the big green lady being like as realistic as Hulk is.
Exactly.
I think something that I saw a really great way that explained why the Hulk is easier to do CGI wise.
Because they have more character models spanning back years.
Well, it's not that actually. The reason the Hulk is easier to sell is because male faces have a lot more wrinkles, have beards, have a lot more like facial detail, whereas females' faces are a lot more like smoother skin. There's not that same level of like imperfections that you can hide the CGI in essentially and make it feel like it's more
And that's why
tangible.
Bruce has his beard and his glasses still, because it's hiding stuff.
Yeah, it makes it easier to sell the CGI. But I think overall, I think compared to those like few brief shots we saw in that first trailer, where I still stand by the fact that back then they weren't the finished pass-throughs.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's so much better than it was in that initial trailer.
Just like people getting upset that early just showed that it was pointless. Like the CGI is perfectly fine.
I enjoyed the courtroom scene and like her hiding like a normal civilian and her friend going, "No, deal with this."
Yeah, I also liked how
you have powers. Go deal with this.
Right, so jumping back to the beginning when she does that, they're in her office doing the thing, and then her friend says, "Well, you can always Hulk out if you have to." I was like, does she know? And then by the end of them doing the flashback sort of thing, she's like, "Oh yeah, my family all know, and so knows." I like the idea that these the newer heroes we're getting seem to just be telling their family and stuff. Happened to Miss Marvel and that. Like it's becoming
it's like coming out now, isn't it?
It's like being
I have superpowers.
It's like getting to tell your family, like, "Oh, I'm the superhero of the family," sort of thing.
This is Derek. He's a doctor. We're very proud.
He's our youngest.
This is Jessica. She's Spider Woman.
Yeah. But yeah, the way she's like, her friend gets at her, and she just walks on and just absolutely one punches Titania. Is that what her name was?
Titania.
Yeah. And then she just transforms back to normal. And she's like, "I'll do my closing statement now." Like anyone's gonna carry on in that courtroom after that.
Yeah, like an absolute badass. But I can't believe it won't help her case when the jury's just seen her literally save the room.
Yeah, let's be honest, the jury's not gonna want to go against her now in case she hulks out on them.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously we have the post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, honestly, such a great post-credit scene.
Which once and for all confirms that Steve Rogers does in fact have game.
He does.
And not only that, the man managed to get laid during the war.
Can I just say, I've seen a counter argument to this post-credit scene.
Go on.
I saw a thing and it's like...
People refuse to believe Captain America got some.
Someone was like, "We know that Tony hounded him about this stuff and took the mick out of him all the time. What if Steve just made it up to them?"
Nah, I don't think he would have.
Just to get Tony off his back? And they all believed him? And do you know what kind of makes me believe that a little bit? Do you not see Chris Evans tweeted today? He put a load of laughing faces, then a zipped mouth face. And then put hashtag She-Hulk.
I believe that someone that good looking back in 1943 definitely.
Oh, so do I. But I like the idea that
I do like that it still hasn't ended the debate. That makes me happy.
People are still suspicious. of if it's true.
You, Feige, will decide what the law is.
I just love the way they did the post-credit scene and the fade out. Fuck.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely brilliant. And it was also the comment about his ass as well.
America's ass.
Yeah,
that everyone loves
she's
to make.
like, that is an ass that did not deserve to die a virgin.
100%. It's so.
I mean, we also need to remember he went back in time and married Peggy.
Well, yeah, obviously after that,
And
but they don't know
obviously they got down to business.
Yeah, but he definitely didn't tell
No.
them when he appeared on that park bench at the end.
But anyway, so overall, very, very good first episode.
Yes.
I know it's technically a bit shorter than the other episodes of the other series, but it didn't feel any shorter.
No, I didn't feel shorter.
So hopefully that maintains. We've got 9 episodes to go. We've still got Wong, Abomination, Daredevil. Very, very excited.
Yes. Which actually, now I'm thinking about it, obviously now she's shown herself as She-Hulk. Explains why Wong rocks up. Well, I actually think Wong rocks up when it gets to the Abomination stuff, because he's already got a connection there.
Now her lawyer company are going to be like, oh, you have powers. We would like you to be the face of this branch.
Well, yeah, I think this is now why that US government guy comes along and wants her to be the lawyer for them.
Yeah.
And
she takes it, and then obviously her case is dealing with Abomination. And as we know from Shang-Chi, Wong is involved with Abomination.
I think Daredevil contacts her because obviously he finds out about a lawyer that is a superhero and just wants to make the connection and meet them, sort of thing. So I think that's why the scene of him like flipping over a car at night is obviously some organized meetup between the two of them.
I'm very, very curious to see what we get here. But it looks good, it looks exciting, and I cannot wait for some more.
Also rumored to have a post-credit scene every episode.
Yeah, I'm all for that rumor.
Yeah, give me 9 post-credit scenes if they're all that funny.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? Even if 8 of them are just stupid little jokes like that, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I would like one proper one that actually matters. But if 8 of the 9 are that kind of silly little gags, I'm so down.
Same.
Especially if they're like lore adding ones like that one was.
Yeah, like little fun.
Find a little secret out about every Avenger over the course of the show.
Oh, imagine. It's just each one is just another scene of them drinking, and she's asking Bruce about different people.
That would be brilliant. That would actually be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, and I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
So last week we discussed The Flash, and how Warner Brothers had basically 3 options.
Yes.
I mean, I guess we know what option they've taken now.
The option that I genuinely didn't think they would do.
Neither did I. But I mean, they haven't actually put their name to it, which is probably why they've done it. They have no direct connection to this.
No, but you know they do.
Yeah, no, we know they do, but we can't prove they do. Which is enough plausible deniability for them.
Yeah, but everyone in the world knows.
It's one of these things of everyone knows but no one can prove it, which gives them all the deniability they need.
But no one would believe the deniability anyway.
But anyway, for those who don't know, because it probably sounds like we're talking in code, Ezra Miller did an interview like it was rumoured he was going to, kind of explaining his erratic behaviour, their erratic behaviour, and why they've been behaving the way they have, although they didn't really explain it. They just said, I'm going through a mental health crisis. They said they're now actively receiving treatment, help.
Probably means
with their
in
problems. So basically, what this boils down to is that Flash movie is coming out one way or another.
Yeah, I guess.
I can only assume Warner Brothers have said to Ezra, you do this interview, you apologise for being a dick, you go to a facility, we'll pay for it, you stay there, you genuinely try and get better, but more importantly, you shut the fuck up and don't make any headlines.
So I think Warner Brothers have turned around and said, right, you're putting out an apology. We're sending you to rehab or facility or whatever it is. You won't be doing press. You won't be getting paid to do any press. And your future regarding this film will be discussed at a later date.
Yeah.
Sort of situation. Which
I do not see them
recasting.
letting Ezra Miller retain his role.
No.
Or, sorry, their role. I think they recast and they have a new Barry Allen.
I'm genuinely surprised that they made him they went with the apology route and thought, but I guess they're just trying to like press, classic celebrity press, save face as best they can. I don't think anyone buys it. I think they know people aren't going to buy it, but they don't want to risk not doing any sort of an apology thing. I don't know.
I think after the news broke that they had 3 options, they were like, shit, I guess we have 3 options.
Yeah.
Because once people think you only have 3 options, you kind of only do have 3 options.
Yeah, because if you try to do anything else, people will then question why you've done something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now going back to She-Hulk, just keep it funky and fresh.
Keep it up.
Mark Ruffalo, who apparently is allowed to do press again, has suggested that She-Hulk is going to be a big part of the Avengers going forward.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
That is very big news, though, to have that kind of confirmed. I believe the quote is, and I didn't get it written down, is, my understanding is she's going to be in all Avengers going forward.
Yeah, it's this whole... It kind of lines up, though, with what we're expecting, which is all the new legacy characters.
Exactly. It's nice to get even any level of confirmation for that.
I think what we're going to end up dealing with is, going off rumors and stuff here, Hulk's going to go back to Sakaar and deal with whatever this Sun issue is. She-Hulk's going to be the point of contact for Wong and take over those like goings on that Bruce has been dealing with. And yeah, she'll take a more front lead in Avengers stuff. And Hulk will be off doing his thing, whatever he wants to be doing. Being smart Hulk, sorry.
Chillin', being big and green and muscly.
Being Dad Hulk.
And we've also got confirmation of new stuff. Woo!
Yes.
First episodes of the Lord of the Rings shows, Ring of Power, coming to us September 1st. The first 2 episodes.
Yeah, first 2 episodes are coming out together.
Week is that? Is that a Friday? It's
might
a Thursday.
Be a Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, we're so screwed.
Yeah, I saw that.
That won't be discussed till the week after. There's 0 chance.
I will say now, there's a high chance I'll have watched the episodes, but we will save discussion.
0 chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is 0 chance that I managed to get them squeezed into a Thursday.
There may be like on that Thursday night's episode, I may just drop something of like, watch them. We'll discuss them next week. Overall, thought they were great or something like that.
Initial non-spoilery felt.
Yeah, like, but obviously with She-Hulk on a Thursday, if Lord of the Rings is going to be every Thursday, one of them has to shift. So.
If it's only 1 40-minute episode, there's a chance, but with 2 episodes to start with, 0 chance. We might be able to discuss the first episode and then do 2 and 3 together, but we'll see.
Just pull a sickie, Connor.
Yeah, we'll discuff me pulling a sickie live on the internet for loads of people to see.
Your work doesn't watch this, let's be honest. They might do, actually.
Never know. They might do.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings coming.
We've also got a Disney and Marvel game showcase coming September 9th.
Is that not going to be part of D23?
No, is D23 not a little bit later than that?
Possibly. It might be all around like the same.
No, you are right. D23 starts Friday night of September.
Yeah, I thought I'd read it was part of it.
Yep.
So yeah, well, as well as Disney shows and Disney Plus and everything going on, we're apparently going to get game showcases at this now as well.
I think we'll get proper final reveal of Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know what Marvel's on there for.
either gonna what was
Unless
they
Marvel
must
are
have a new
announcing
title.
unless Marvel are announcing a full-on partnership with Insomniac, because they've
Maybe.
gone. We saw what you did with Spider-Man. We saw what you did with Miles Morales. We see what you're doing with Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. Let's
Yeah,
make
maybe
some
we'll get
money,
another.
baby.
We might get a proper look at Wolverine.
Well, here's the thing. I thought that, but Josh
Our friend
reckons that
Josh.
Sony will want to save that for their next thing. Because Insomniac is
So
owned by Sony, I
yeah,
believe.
here's my thing. My guess then. Maybe they'll do a trailer because let's be real. Sony knows D23 is going to be a big event and a big watched event. So it's not a bad idea to showcase something there. I wonder if they'll
Not
do
at
like
all.
new trailer and then show gameplay
Yeah.
at their own
But
thing.
if there's anything worth talking about from the game showcase, we'll discuss it here, of course.
It'll get included in the D23 talk.
It will indeed. The next one was a really interesting one that
Yeah.
I've not really seen anyone talk about. I sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Did I send it to you directly
You
on
did.
Twitter? Fuck's sake. Was it from the cutscene Twitter?
I believe so.
Un momento, por favor.
It doesn't surprise me though that this hasn't been discussed previously.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I've been debated with it because of the way that no one's discussing it.
Well, I think because it's we should probably explain what we're on about.
Yeah. So some No Way Home concept art got released.
Yes.
And we've got 4 pictures.
Yes.
3 of them are very, very much what we've seen in the film. You've got one with the 3 Spider-Man on top of the Statue of Liberty, looking down on Green Goblin with Ned, MJ, and Doc Ock in the background. You've got one with Spider-Man in his black and gold suit getting protected by Sanders lightning comes towards him, like we saw in the film.
Mm-hmm.
We've got another one of the 3 Spider-Men just chilling on top of the Statue of Liberty, like we saw in the film.
Yeah.
But then we've got another one with Ned, MJ, Peter, Betty, and Flash at like a theme park surrounded by bumper cars with America Chavez just in the middle.
So one thing, I think this has only just appeared now because I would imagine this is because whichever artist did that concept art has only just either 1, added it to their portfolio, 2, made some post about their recent work. Because this is what usually happens with artists is they have a separate NDA of when they can post about work they've worked on. So whether that's only just lifted for some of the artists or they're doing like a bulk update of their portfolios, that's usually when this stuff kind of appears.
Yeah.
I wonder if early stages they were trying to decide whether they use Doctor Strange to help explain all the multiverse stuff or they use this as a way to introduce America Chavez because that's multiverse stuff. But it probably got no further than that concept art drawing that we're seeing. I imagine that was done off of like a potential story point. It was like, oh, we could maybe use America Chavez. Do like some scene with America Chavez and the kids or whatever.
We've all remember originally Doctor Strange was supposed to come out before Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah. So this was probably pre-release switch up.
Yeah.
So they probably thought, well, she's already introduced.
Exactly.
They can use her instead of Doctor Strange.
And to be fair, it might have just been, we might do this stuff. Can you draw some concepts so we can get a feel for it?
Oh, yeah.
Which happens so much.
Oh, yeah. Concept artist.
It doesn't mean that she was even ever in a script.
Oh, no. A concept artist job is generally they will do a lot of different rough ideas. Concepts.
It's a concept.
Yeah.
They'll
do hundreds.
The Razer laptop at that event years ago with the sliding out screens. It was a concept piece.
Yeah, people have made them though now.
Yeah, people have made them now, but like Razer went, look what we could do maybe in the future. And then it got stolen, and they never made it.
But yeah, so interesting that it was there. Doesn't surprise me, and I do think that got idea didn't get anywhere because they changed release scheduling.
Exactly. But it's still just interesting to know that that was at one point something that was at least being talked about.
Yeah, and it also shows kind of even that, like, there's no hard plan on these Marvel films each time. Like, there's quite clearly lots of different directions or ideas being thrown around in the early stages that depend on order of releases, what characters they can or want to use and whatnot, and they see what it might look like with all of them. So,
And you've got to remember, with 4 films being worked on at the same time, say, and they know a character is going to appear in one of these 4 films, they're going to have a little look to see where it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So it could have been to them going, maybe this is how we introduce America. She just appears during Peter's life, and Peter works with Doctor Strange to deal with his problem, and she kind of goes with Doctor Strange to see if Doctor Strange can help with her problem or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting to see. But I'm surprised it's not been discussed more.
Yeah, I mean, I think just because it's concept art, people haven't latched onto it quite the same.
And now on to the most important part of the episode.
Yes, for you.
The Man is finally out, and it is so glorious. So for those of you who've been about, as you know, for the last million years, I've been getting very excited about Spider-Man coming to PC. So me as an Xbox boy could finally play what is being called the greatest superhero game ever, and the greatest Spider-Man game ever, and the best movement you will ever experience, and blah 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 blah. It is so damn good.
How
The
much have you
characterization.
played?
I've played probably close to 10 hours.
Decent.
I had to end one of my streams due to a nosebleed because I was so excitable. It was actually due to the heat, but nosebleed's funnier. I think I'm just over 50% of the way through the main story.
Decent.
And then I've got the 4 DLCs to get through. And I'm doing this all on stream. And I'm having a great time. The controls are beautiful. The gameplay is beautiful. It looks stunning. Stan Lee cameo almost made me cry live on stream. It's
So you've not been.
emotional.
So what you're saying is you've not been disappointed, and it wasn't the biggest
No, it
debate
did not
ever.
disappoint. No, it wasn't. To be fair, I was pretty confident after like 4 years and the internet not giving a fuck about me personally that it wasn't going to be a debate. But there's always a fear.
Yeah, this is true.
Because, you know, humans are individuals and have their own unique tastes. There was a chance that I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
But I did like it, and I do like it, and I'm very excited to finish the main story and then the DLCs. And then right around the time I'm finishing them for Marvel, for Sony to go, hey, would you like Miles as well? And then I go, yes, I fucking would. Send it on over. And then just rinse and repeat.
They probably will. Seems to have gone down.
Yeah, it's gone down well. You don't just transport one game from PS5 to PC. It do really well, and you go, yeah, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
No one does that.
They're gonna want the money.
Exactly. But if for some reason you want to see me play a Spider-Man, feel free to head on over to my YouTube or Twitch. The YouTube URL will be personalized soon, so just be able to type in youtube.com/Conor Knight, 1 instead of an I, to come find my stream. And we'll have a good old time playing video games. Yeah.
The wait was over.
I'm
listeners.
It's proper like a I don't want to be crude. It's just, you know, after you have like a really good pee, and you're just there like you've been in the car for like 6 hours.
Good relief.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, it was worth it. Yes. It's exactly what it's been like. And like I said, if
I'm
I
sure
could get
this.
away, if it wasn't for the fact I'm adamant I'm going to play the entire main story on stream, it would already be finished.
Oh yeah, I'm
Because
sure
I,
listeners will
I'd
be
just
hearing
be,
about this for a while.
yeah, oh yeah, it's not going away anytime soon. Especially as I complete each of the DLCs stuff, and yeah, it's cracked out good. But keep an eye on like the interwebs because I'm hoping Insomniac announce that even if they just go, so we'll do Miles now, and then 1 year after it comes out on the PS5, Wolverine and Spider-Man 2 will come to PC. Sweet.
Maybe that's what they'll announce at D23.
But if they don't announce that and we start making money over here, you best believe I'm just going to buy a PS5 to play Wolverine and Spider-Man off for it. Invest like 800 quid in a capture card in the PS5 just so I can play them games.
Good luck finding a PS5.
Oh, I'll just punch a kid in the face. It's fine.
Whoa.
Hear that, Jimmy? I'm coming for you.
PS5's not safe.
No, PS5 is safe. I'm just going to rock up at Luke's house and bash his nose in. You don't deserve this.
I'm going to tell Luke.
Do it. I mean, he should be watching this to know that it's coming. If he's not watching to this point of the episode to know it's coming, does he really deserve a PS5, Hurry?
I mean, I don't know why anyone would want a PS5, but...
For Spiderman. For Spiderman. Anyway, normally we'd go on to superheroes punching each other in the face.
Yes, we would.
But we finished the bracket last week.
We did.
And if you were here last week, you'll know we said we were going to take a couple of weeks off until the first episode of September.
Yes. But
we're going to talk about some rules that we're considering. I have one that I'd like to voice, and I want to get your opinion on it, Hori.
Okay, all ears.
So, in our previous rules, we said it was a neutral environment.
We did. A blank slate.
What if we go, whoever is the lower seed in the battle gets an environmental buff? I.e., the fight takes place in an environment that suits them better.
I'm not against it. I was trying to think about this, of like how we could maybe incorporate an environment situation. Because obviously you have, in our last bracket, we had Aquaman at one point, but Aquaman in a neutral environment was kind of, just didn't do anything. I was wondering if we did, because obviously I don't know how homeworlds and stuff affect people, but one thought I had was like Earth, or in space, or under, like very generic environments sort of thing.
Okay.
But I do also quite like the idea of like the lower seed gets, we favor it to them, whether it becomes their homeworld or, oh, this person's better just out in open space.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
It doesn't necessarily need to be like an environmental buff. It could just be a small buff. So like, for instance, not that I'm saying because this would probably be a very OP version, but for instance, Batman doesn't have like an environment where he's better suited.
The dark.
But if he's the lower seed and needs a buff, maybe we could go, oh, he has a day of prep time.
Okay, so here's, doesn't necessarily for Batman, but something that I thought of a rule. We always said they only have the equipment on them. But there's certain situations where some heroes and villains have very specific setups or like items. One coming to mind is like Iron Man in a Hulkbuster suit.
Yeah.
I wonder if we have, if someone or us makes a suggestion or picks a character, as well as specifying if they're MCU, like DC EU or comic version or whatever, for likes of like Iron Man or someone, we're like, oh, this is Iron Man MCU Hulkbuster, and he
Okay.
always fights in a Hulkbuster suit.
Okay.
So you
I'm
could
not
do
against it.
Batman from something, and he has a certain suit equipment setup that's like a very specific one or something
Can do
to
that.
add a bit of flair that way.
We could also go with the similar to like the if you're the lower seed, you get a buff. If a character has used a piece of equipment in their comics, but it's like not a common bit they use, but it's like designed to fight a specific person, we could let them use that. We've got options to make this a more balanced bracket, so there's more
Yeah.
surprises, but also just more interesting.
Yeah, I think whatever we do, it's always leans to the lower seed.
Yeah.
I think there'll be some situations where we keep it neutral because they're both maybe when it gets to we say now that the final is always neutral.
Yeah, we can do.
That way, the grand final is neutral. They've both got there, so it's like it's hard to kind of seed one higher than the other.
Mm-hmm.
But they were the only rules that I kind of thought of was like environment and kind of equipment slash.
So basically, we're going to go for a 32 player bracket.
Yep.
8 heroes and 8 villains from Marvel and DC.
Yep.
The rules I will obviously seed them beforehand.
Yep.
And we will find a way to make the lower seed have a better chance against the higher seed.
Yes.
Apart from in the grand final, in which case it is a last man standing shit show.
Yeah. Neutral. What you got on you. See who's the big boy.
Exactly. But I'm very excited, A, to get this bracket sorted, but B, then to not have to worry about a bracket for a long time.
Oh yeah, this is gonna keep us going for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, buddy. I know we discussed it. I'm pretty sure I haven't done the math. I don't know if it checks out. It'll carry us well past like 50, maybe even 60 episodes, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be something nuts.
But yeah. I think that's about it from us.
I think so too.
If you listen to the full episode rather than watching the shorts, because you're the only person who's going to hear this kind of stuff, we're closing on 1,000 uploads on this channel.
Yeah, which is wild.
We've really been putting the effort in for the full length episodes. Hori cutting up the segments, which you're doing phenomenally at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So hats off to him for that. The impressions and impression click through rate and all that good stuff are through the roof. As well as spamming your feeds with as many shorts as we can pump out. So if you do support us, we do really appreciate it. We're seeing good growth that we're happy to see, and obviously it's down to people wanting to watch it. But obviously, if you have polite suggestions, don't be rude about it, about what you'd like to see us do to improve it, of course, let us know. Because at the minute, we only really have 2 staple segments of a character profile and Superhero Showdown. If you guys think there's another segment that we could easily do that would be worth doing, feel free to let us know.
Yeah.
Other than that, make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got that bell rung so you don't miss any of the brilliant content. And other than that, I think that is it from us.
I do think that is everything. Episode 30 done.
Honestly, we're never leaving.
No,
I'm not fucking leaving.
We're here for a while.
6 seasons in a film.
Yeah, we're here for 17 years. We're going to be here as long as the MCU is.
Exactly.
Sorry, MCM.
That shit show that you go and see in the cinema and now on your TVs as well. Anyway, thank you very much.
Appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week.